You are listening to Awakening Code Radio.
Yes, you are. Thank you so much for tuning into Awakening Code Radio. I am one half of your host team. My name's Eric Rankin, and next to me in the studio here in our beautiful KXFM studios in Laguna is Michelle. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Eric.
How are you?
I'm fantastic.
Are you?
Mm-hmm. I actually am because of tonight's show.
You are a buzz.
Yeah.
About, I know you love, because we've had numerous conversations with Adrian. I've not spoken or seen our other guests before, and you are just all a buzz.
I am.
And so I'm
it's
excited.
A magical day.
If you're excited, I'm excited too. Why don't we just jump in and announce who we've got on our show with us?
Well, I'm super excited about this show because we're trying something new, and what we're doing is, I feel we're modeling what conscious collaboration without competition means. And so what we're doing is highlighting DisclosureFest Foundation's mass meditation platform. And we'll say hello first to Adrian Vallera, the founder of DisclosureFest.
Hey, Adrian.
Hey, you two. Thanks for having me on. Such an amazing show. Always amazing to see you two, even though I can see you. I don't know if the
audience can't see us, but I'm glad that we're on Zoom and we're seeing both of you. And, 2019 DisclosureFest Mass Meditation Initiative, the festival that we had, was one of the highlights of my life. And we had 20,000 people in Los Angeles. And I was so lit up because we actually reunited Freedom Tribe after, I think, 10 years of not playing live together. And so we're welcoming tonight in a very rare moment here with Freedom. And Freedom, I can actually see you on Zoom. You look fantastic. Hello.
Hello. Thank
you for being here. And, one of the things that I want our audience to know is that freedomtribenation.com is the website for our guest tonight, Freedom. And one of the things that I have observed and witnessed about this beautiful man is he's extremely humble. And I've never seen him do an interview before. And I've seen him play. And what I've seen happen is he transforms people. And his music is poetry from his heart, from his soul. And I think Freedom would much rather be singing than actually talking. Is that right, Freedom?
Oh, indeed. Yes.
I think I have your number.
I think you do.
Yeah. And one of the things that I'd like to share, our audience, our faithful listeners, thank you so much for always tuning in and listening. And I want to reiterate for you, Freedom, that our audience knows that I've talked very candidly, and Eric's talked candidly about how nervous I get when I MC or I'm on stage or doing a video. Adrian knows this too. Yeah.
I get nervous as well. Like I've always, and it's took a while, having to jump in front of a huge crowd and do a guided mass meditation. That was a huge one for me. And for you, it was just amazing seeing you just really come out of your shell on the video, like on air stuff. And, Eric's just always just been a pro and just, he's got to go on and out, so it's so cool to have everyone on together. And,
yeah,
I have to say, remember when we were, when I started DisclosureFest in 2017, one of my dear friends is another one that is just infatuated with Freedom Tribe. And since 2016 is when I started trying to find you, dude.
Freedom. The elusive Freedom.
Like I tried everything. I called every artist I know. Like you're just, somewhere secluded in the woods somewhere. I wanted to take a road trip just to find you, but the synchronistic alignment happened with Michelle. And
yes, how did that happen? Tell me the story of how did that come together, because it's a pretty amazing thing to get to get all four of us back in the room to play music for y'all. I mean, how did that happen?
Well, I was introduced to your music in 2012, and somehow somebody sent me a song. I think it was So Beautiful. And then I was like, who is this person singing? This is moving me. And I went and found you and found the song, The Sun. And in that song, it's one of the lyrics is, I love you like the sun. And I resonated so strongly with that statement because the sun gives us life. The sun is source and it's golden. And before we went on air, I told Freedom, you look like the sun god Apollo right now. Your native name would be Golden Sun in my mind. You know?
She exaggerates.
That's how I feel. And so I've been following you since 2012, and I had reached out because you haven't done things the way most artists do. I couldn't find you on iTunes. I couldn't find you on Spotify. Any of the platforms I couldn't find you on. Somehow I was able to reach out to you by mail, I think. And
mail?
Yeah, by snail mail. He sent me his CDs by snail mail. I paid him. I'm like, dude, I have this radio show. I love you on the radio show. And this was 2012, and you never answered me. And I kind of felt your vibration. I understood you at your core. That you're about making your music, and you had some CDs. You probably had 7 or 8 albums. Mm-hmm. And I wrote and I sent you probably a check back then. and then you true to your form, your integrity, you sent me the CDs, and that was our exchange. And then when I met Adrian and he asked me to be a part of DisclosureFest, I went to his home office and I saw all these big, what do you call those boards, Adrian?
Dry eraser boards.
Those big dry eraser boards. He had them on easels, these big ones with which stages that he was putting each act on. We had 16 stages on 32 acres. And I looked at Adrian and I said, is there any way you can get, one of us said something about, wouldn't it be great? I think I said, wouldn't it be great if we could get Freedom Tribe?
And it just blew my mind you knew about him.
Adrian's head snapped around. He looked at me and he goes, do you know anyone that could get him? I've been trying to get him for years. And I go, I don't know. Let me see. Let me do a text right now. So I texted a friend of mine and I said, do you happen to know anyone who knows Freedom? And he said, nah, I'm not really sure. I said, well, if you know anyone who knows Freedom Tribe, we would like to have him at DisclosureFest. Seriously, Freedom, it was 2 days later, I get a text back. You'll never believe this, Michelle. I was in Maui and ran into the bass player at something, and mentioned a friend of mine, Michelle Anderson, wants to have Freedom at this DisclosureFest. And next thing I know, you said yes and came from New York and reunited the band and played and
yeah, Steven. It was Stevie Fever, Steven Roush. Yeah.
And that's how it all went down. And Adrian, I felt like a hero in Adrian's, world because he'd been trying so hard. And I just made a text. And that is how it happens, and we like to say here on Awakening Code Radio, we talk a lot about how the universe works and how synchronicity works. And when things are in the right divine alignment, the universe wants to conspire to make it happen. And it felt like we were destined to meet you, Freedom. I think it was this divine alignment because it was time for you to come out of from wherever you were, whatever was going on in your life.
I'll never say.
I had a feeling you might not share too much. But it's so great to see that you're now coming out and I read on your website that you're ready to release your deepest work yet in 2021. And you've been doing these amazing Spirit Revival Sunday concerts every Sunday. I love on the website, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, and 4 p.m. Aloha.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to remind the Hawaii folks, because it's the daytime for them,
Right.
and leaving Baby Beach early,
Right.
easy to get carried away.
They're coming out. And what are you finding with how now you've been doing this since November, every Sunday. And
Oh, it's been that long already. Yeah.
I think it has been since November. And I have to admit, I can't believe I'm going to admit this on the air, but I'm going to. When I remember, I was like, oh yeah, it's Sunday. And I went upstairs to take an early bath. I got in the bathtub and I was like, oh my God, Freedom's on. And I put it on my iPad in my bathtub. I had the candles lit. I had the lights dimmed.
Nice.
There, I'm in my bathtub. I'm watching all the people chat in. I did a little video from my phone to my iPad of a song you were playing while I was in the bathtub, just hoping there was no reflection anywhere where people could. But here's the deal.
Well, I am honored. Good Lord.
Thank you. But the deal is, I was in my sacred space. I needed that bath for my own self-care. And having you play your songs while I was there took me to a whole nother place. And I texted Adrian from the bathtub. Adrian, dude, get on Zoom. You can see Freedom. And Adrian jumped on. And then I texted my friend Lisa Starr.
He was in the bath too, wasn't he?
The big bathtub.
I don't think so, but Adrian knows that I'm always in the bathtub having meetings with people. That's
I would lie and say I was, but I don't really take baths.
Yeah. But here's the deal. I texted a few people that I know of your music, because you have a huge audience who actually are very, very faithful to you. They love your music. My friend Lisa Starr, who's been on the show, Lisa Starr, drum medicine woman, she told me her story today. I texted her and she jumped on the I don't know, a couple Sundays ago. And I called her today and I said, Lisa, to remind me of how you met or learned about Freedom's music. And she said in 2007, she was going on a Hopi pilgrimage, and they were stopping in Sedona, and she was with someone named Blue Star. Do you remember Blue Star?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, the flute maker.
Yeah.
And then she he came back with one of your CDs, and she said, yeah, it's like old school. I got a CD. I loved it. Just was always listening to your music. Was on the Hopi pilgrimage with some people named Stacy and Ken that were part of Go Gratitude. She thought they knew you too. And then she was telling, do you remember somebody named Baba Dez?
Yeah, Baba Dez from Sedona there.
Yeah, so Baba Dez, Lisa was with Baba Dez, telling him that I invited her to your Zoom Spirit Sunday revival. And he was like, oh my gosh, if you talk to that brother, tell him I said hi. So
oh, wow.
Isn't that cool how you're connecting all of us through these Sunday Spirit revivals? And I feel that the world needs you right now. So thank you for coming out of your shell and giving us the gift of your music.
It's my pleasure. It's my many things, but it's my pleasure. Yeah. Well, maybe we can get, not only can we raise the vibration, but maybe we could get everybody in the bathtub on Sunday.
Hey, water. I've always said water is a conductor of energy. And if we want to raise the vibration and shift the way the planet's going right now,
yeah,
all intend together. I'll meet you there on Sunday.
Hey, yeah, we're not going to do it with hate or, strange little social media sentences. Maybe we could do it from the bathtub.
I like it.
Who would have thunk it after all these years?
I like it like that. That's
like it like that. Yeah.
And that's one of your lyrics, I think.
Hot tub time machine.
Well, thank you for saying that. It's been pretty majestic, surprisingly, because I was nervous to do it and normally wouldn't wish for any attention, and yet I do have this bliss, this curse and blessing of being a lead singer and being a person that wants no attention. So
It's an
it
interesting
makes for an interesting situation, you know.
I
the
think,
spirits,
as and being in the music industry for 25 plus years and working with so many lead singers, I've always found like the introverted lead singers just get the deepest, get by far the deepest inward, and they're lyrical, and the way they express themselves, it's been some of the most potent stuff. And what you said, what I heard on this call is that your new stuff is, your new music is some of the deepest dive yet. And like, I'm just curious, like what inspiration's behind it? I know there's probably a lot of it, but can you touch on some of it?
well, I mean, you looked outside, haven't you?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of darkness, and there's been a lot of darkness, and in my life, there's been a lot of darkness too. So
yeah,
I'd imagine every song is kind of it's like a mantra, to keep me on track. Like a lantern or a beacon. And so when I sing that, I can remember. Helps me behave better, or know possibly, what's going on. Maybe not why, because why is just too much and too big and too unanswerable. But that was a wonderfully poetically vague way to answer, wasn't it? Did that work?
Yeah, you get it. Totally get it. Amazing.
Totally giving us a peek into who you are, though. And it's okay, Freedom, for people to know who you are. It really is. And I think your music does speak for itself, and people want to know more about you. You're not trying to be mysterious on purpose. That's the sense that
No, I am not.
It's just, you're in the hot seat. It's a little bit uncomfortable. I wrote to some of our faithful fans on the East Coast today, and I said, I know that you've heard me play some of Freedom Tribe's songs, and I wondered if you had any questions for them. And I just reached out to a few people, and Suzanne, I talk a lot about Suzanne Holt and Lisa Chernoff and Lori Pickett and Melitza. These are all women who listen from the East Coast. And I think it was Suzanne said she's curious as to how the powerful messages come through. Does the music come first, or do the words? And are they words or ideas? Then figuring out how to make the ideas into poetic songs. The whole process is amazing to me, she said.
Oh, that's a great question. It's, how do I answer that? It's honestly never been the same.
It just comes through.
It just
Word, music.
comes through. It's mostly, with the Freedom Tribe in the early days, I would get a kind of an idea, or maybe a line in my head, or a couple lines, something I wanted to say. And since we never rehearsed all those years, I would just start playing the chords on stage during the show, and usually make up the song on the spot. So most of them would just come through like that. And I'd have to say, some of the best lyrics I've written, I learned from bootleg tapes of us, of me. I learned them from myself in the tape back. So
going back,
mostly it's just coming through like that. It's very rarely that I would, sit down and go, oh, I'm going to write a song, or try to fit something to say. It's not a mental thing for me. I wouldn't be able to teach it because it's elusive. Maybe it's more of just a feeling. I get a feeling, and to try to follow it. Mm-hmm. What I've been trying to do the whole life, and hopefully have touched on it a few times, is just trying to say these deep things in a broken language. Say things that matter in this language that's very shattered. Not easy.
No, I get it. I know that you know, there are phases in my life where I've written poetry, and then there's phases where I write nothing. Like nothing comes to me. If I sit down to try to write a poem, no way. But from the deepest place inside of me, sometimes things are born, and it's, you know, a subconscious thing maybe.
Mhm.
And if I just allow it to come through, it does come through, but I've never been able to force it. So I'm just glad you have such a catalog and such a library
Oh goodness, there's lots. Yeah, there's lots of songs.
that move us all. And I know people in Ashland have listened to you live, and people in Sedona, and people in Mount Shasta, and people in Hawaii. And these are all spots on the earth that I feel are very powerful vortex spots that have the ability to connect us all through the vortex is there. And right now, what's happening in the world is like Eric was saying to me at dinner tonight. It's like we see two separate timelines, two separate worlds happening. And man, I got a dose of it today. I had tears in my eyes. I was crying today over some stuff that I was seeing, and I had to just sit with it for a moment. And what brings me back to my heart and to my soul is music, especially this music. This music moves me. So I would love for you to, what are we in? I think we're ready
Sure.
for Freedom to play. Can I invite you, Freedom, to play a new song, an acoustic song here for our listeners, just over the Zoom airwaves?
Sure, I can do this. So I got just this little radio mic here, but can you hear this?
Yeah.
Yeah?
You hear it very well, actually. You could drop.
Okay. Well, here we go. It's a new one. Thank you for the sweetness. Like, thank you for the sweetness. It's really nice to hear nice things. I'm a big fan of goodness. Okay. Going back to land, my brother, man. I don't care what they say. Back to land, my brother. I am on my way. Come on, take my hand, my brother, man. I don't care what they say, my brother. Oh, somebody's got to save the day. Oh, so many don't hear the calling. They put something in the way. They don't know love can't stop the falling. And you and I, or somebody, got to save the day. Somewhere somebody told you that you weren't good enough, that you were too white, too black, too this, too that, too skinny, too fat. Oh, it's a soul revival. Make it revolution. So back to land, my brother, man. I just don't care what they say, my brother. Oh, I intend to stay. So come on, take my hand, my brother, man. 'Cause this is the end of days, yeah. Take my hand, my brother. 'Cause somebody's got to save the day. So many don't hear the calling. We can make a way, yeah. You're either rising or you're falling. I say you and I, or somebody got to save the day. Somebody's got to save the day. Somebody gotta save the day. It's a revolution. Internal Bible, soul revival, or somebody got to save the day.
Wow.
Holy moly.
Hey, amazing.
And timely. You know, I think we've had so many conversations. I'm almost just over the COVID conversation, but we're going to be living with this phenomenon for a while, and the aftermath and the ramp up and what we're going to look like after this. And I think the biggest shift will be that we're not looking so much, what is the exterior fix? Who's going to fix this for us outside of me? What, the government, the pharmaceutical companies, somebody. We have to be shifting our thinking. And that song, for me anyway, just completely makes that statement. It's like we are all responsible for saving the day from here.
Yes, and exactly.
Yeah.
Totally.
We're flying off the handle and out of our calm, collected, caring, compassionate space. We're not saving the day that day. If we're just shaming and blaming and finger pointing and irate,
Yes,
and out of our own, sense of alignment with who we know ourselves to be, because I think most people would want to claim that they are good people that want to do good things for people. Adrian, the way you run DisclosureFest is an open invitation for people to model their goodness, the way you do that. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But that song was beautiful. It was powerful and timely as could possibly be. Thank you.
Oh man, my pleasure. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, it's exactly that. And I think there's a little bit of a misunderstanding in the universe. Like, I could see why it would be seen this way, but you know how you were talking about synchronicities, Michelle, and all of this. I think there's a little teeny trick we play on ourselves that takes away our own power.
Yep.
And maybe it appears to be humbleness, but actually it's not. And what that is the universe doesn't do anything to us. It's not the universe doing this to us, or the universe offering these things. As we create this.
Yep.
Yeah, we are the spirit.
Yeah.
We are the spirit. The spirit is the nothingness. And we put things in front of us. We make things. We create things in front of us. We're not victims. We're not victims even of beauty, of tragedy or beauty or gloriousness. We put it in front of us. We make it there. We create it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We're all on the same page. And that's why I felt like this show was so important. And I love that we're doing this show. Well, a lot of people will be listening to this as a podcast, but we're actually recording this show on a day that's very, very special to me, because February 2nd, is the halfway point between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And it is a day that many cultures honor. The Celtic culture honors Bridget. The it is a day known as the Feast of Yemen Day, which is the water goddess.
You're right. Yes.
We're normally out on a boat on Tutu. Eric and I have been doing this for over 10 years, where we take people out on the ocean to be with the dolphins and the whales on the Feast of Yemen Day, because water is a conductor of energy and it amplifies what our thoughts and our feelings are. So if we get 55 people on our catamaran that are all in a very pure, open-hearted space, all doing what you just did. And Freedom, I want you to, I want to send you a video. I've got to go back and find it, but I have a video of me playing your song, The Sun, during sunset.
You've played it many times
on these boats.
Yeah.
And the dolphins, you see the dolphins jumping and you hear people going, look at all the babies. And everyone's screaming and they're in this open-hearted space of joy. And it is my sense and my 100%, 1000% belief that we're doing something to change the vibration by all being focused on our heart, on that heart energy. And your songs inspire us to be in that place and in that way. And, you know, that's a great segue into talking about the mass meditation at DisclosureFest. Freedom, you got to taste what it felt like to be with all those people that were there for a vegan, yoga, art, mass meditation in downtown Los Angeles.
Yeah, good work, you guys. Good work.
On the summer solstice. And this is a donation-based event. And that's what I see that you've done, Freedom, is your Sunday Spirit Revival Sundays are done on donation-based. And this to me is it's a modeling of a new way of sacred commerce, a new way that we can say, those who have, give. And if you were moved and this energy moves you and you have some, even if you don't have it, chances are, if you're going to give, something's going to come back around, because that's the way the universe works. Mm-hmm. And so I really wanted that's what I felt was happening when we did this dynamic with DisclosureFest, Awakening Code Radio, and Freedom Tribe right here, helping to plant those seeds into the hearts of our listeners, that when we walk around and we think, what can I do right now? How do I help? What can I do to help? How do I assist? You use what you were given as far as your piece of the puzzle, your gift, whether it's music or whether it's your appreciation for music, or whether it's, you know, feeding the homeless, like DisclosureFest. DisclosureFest has so many arms to what DisclosureFest Foundation does as far as feeding the homeless on Skid Row, vegan meals, and giving them blankets. And
what did you say on the phone to me earlier? Sorry for interrupting, but did you say ninja basketball?
Yeah, that Jedi basketball.
Jedi. What is Jedi basketball? I'm super curious.
You were talking about Jedi.
She was talking about all the amazing things.
Yeah. We have an initiative called the Starseed Initiatives, where we go into children's schools, and most of these schools are children like kindergarten through 6th grade to 8th grade that are dealing with severe poverty or homelessness. And we bring like a curriculum into these schools with plant-based meals, conscious collaboration, parkour, sound healing meditation, Jedi basketball, which Jedi basketball is like, you know, empowering these children to find their like Jedi inside them, you know, to like tap into, you know, the spirit, the force, the source spirit, and like, you know, just feel empowered, because these children are dealing with so much trauma within their lives when they leave, because like, you know, most of these children are homeless. And so we bring these really amazing, empowering curriculum so that like every day they're like reset in school, you know, and then they go back into their environment and are kind of, they're still witnessing the same stuff, like, you know, there's so much, I don't even want to get into it, how much trauma they're dealing with, but they bring this home, and we're finding a lot of children talking about, you know, this type of conscious, spiritual, uplifting, sustainable content to their parents, who, you know, didn't really you know, they were programmed a different way. So even in this later in life, it's like the children being empowered to teach, you know, their people around them. So it's really beautiful.
Wow.
It's so reciprocal. And I want to give a shout out to Creed Academy, where the Starseed Initiative really was birthed at Creed Academy in Los Angeles. They do amazing things with these children. And Adrian has been such an inspiration for me to see how many areas Disclosure Fest Foundation is touching. It's not just the Starseed Initiative, but also the Clean Air Initiative with planting trees, and the Clean Oceans and Rivers and Lakes Initiative, where they're picking up trash and going to, you know, picking up thousands of pounds of trash. Is that right, Adrian? With,
You know, we're approaching 30,000 pounds.
yeah.
Wow, hallelujah.
Yeah.
And after the 2019 Disclosure Fest Mass Meditation, another initiative was born and birthed, which was very close to my heart because it's something I've been dealing with, and Eric as well, the Every Elder Initiative, which, I mean, right now, what we're seeing are how many of our parents, our elders, are wasting away in these senior living homes where they don't feel heard, they don't feel seen. They have so many stories to tell, and they're in the last season of their life and they're lonely. And so, you know, Adrian has been taking people into, now we haven't been able to do it in the last year, but
I'm happy we were able to get at least a few in there in 2020 when we launched it. But yeah, taking this amazing curriculum into assisted living and nursing homes, and it's really beautiful. Like just seeing that spark reignite within our elders that seem forgotten, that have so much life experience, and help them, feel empowered again and share their life experience. Just like listening is enough, but we bring the sound healing and the yoga and all sorts of meditation and fun stuff. It's really, really beautiful. I can't wait to get to doing more. We have like dozens of places that want to be a part of it now. We're trying to figure out how to do it virtually, but it's hard to get the computers into these places.
Yeah,
Freedom, what you're doing, Freedom, the way that you're doing it with this, you've created this avenue for you to get your music into people's homes through this virtual avenue. And let's give your beautiful lady there some props.
Props.
Yay.
So Ray Indigo there is with you, Freedom, in Miami. And I bow to you, Ray, for bringing this man out, doing the technical stuff. Look at her.
Hey, ray of light.
Yeah.
Hi. Yeah. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, you know.
I know that I noticed that you're shooting him questions when people are writing in the Zoom chat.
It's so helpful because I don't want to stare at the screen while I'm singing, so she can read back what everybody's writing, and it's like you were saying, yeah, super props to her. I mean, she made me do it. Otherwise, I would wait until it was perfect. Like, no, it has to be perfect sound, perfect this, perfect that, and then nothing happens.
Mhm.
Right? Because it'll never be perfect to me.
Yeah.
So she's just taught me, it's content, get it out there. People will love it. I'm like, this is terrible, and it's not. It really isn't.
People love it.
You know,
Yeah, love it.
and it's
We're
like
waiting for it.
the virtual thing you were saying. I think it's very important. However we can reach out to each other, because if the time and distance is an illusion anyway, then what's the difference, right?
Right.
And coming back to what you were saying, Michelle, before I interrupted you with the Jedi basketball, about bringing the gift that you have, whether it's music or appreciating music or this or that, whatever it is. I think, I had many grandiose ideas when I was young, as we do, and was pretty on fire with them, and still believe that. I think anything's possible. But really, to save the world, so to speak, be kind to the person that's in front of you.
Right.
Right? Be as present as you can be. Be honest. Be exactly who you are. And there it is. If you want to be, it's a strange culture. It's a strange world. If you take everything and you turn it exactly the opposite of the way it is, that's how it's supposed to be, pretty much usually.
I gotta agree with you that
You know,
we
so-
are the same. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
oh no, I mean, I'm just feeling it every day. And I think, you know, if you really want to be tough, really strong superhero, you know, then be sweet, you know, because anyone can be pick your word. I remembered, Michelle, you got me.
No cussing.
yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
cussing. I didn't cuss. Okay. You know,
well, we are the
but
same.
if you really want to be strong, what I was going to say is keep your sweetness alive. Keep that sweetness, that gentleness, that sweetness. That's tough. You want to be strong, keep that alive.
Yeah. We are the same creatures we've always been. We are social creatures. We need relation. We need touch. We need the ability to comfort and provide and be of service to each other. Where FaceTime literally means face-to-face time, being in each other's fields. And this technology is so new that it's still in the honeymoon romance stage, I think, with it, that it's
I think
novel.
that's fast.
Yeah, well, it has for me, but we see that because of our devices, we are unplugged from each other, and we're seeing it indoctrinated into our children. You know, I just see so many families go to restaurants with 2- and 3-year-old kids, and it sounds great that you can keep the child occupied while you're having dinner and they're quiet. But man, what that turns into is just, you have started this thing of detaching them from the very thing that we're supposed to be as human beings, social, interactive, relational beings. That's who and what we are. And the cherry on top is most of us are motivated by wanting to be of service, wanting to be kind and compassionate. I mean, that's the high ideal. That's what we go to church to hear, the message, whether it's Jesus or Buddha or Gandhi. We vibrate with this message of being in service. And how can we do that? And now we have to focus really hard on it. Before, it was sort of like, this is what we naturally do. Now we have to focus ourselves to detach from the technology and remember who and what we really are on this planet and what our purpose is, because I truly believe we're just getting started right now.
Well, eloquent. Well said. I agree with you.
So awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's a blessing, and it's a curse. You know, it's. I guess it's just like anything. It's what you do with it.
It's a blessing. There's no curse in it.
Yeah.
Or you talking about technology?
Well, right now we're using it. You know,
we're using it.
So
Yeah,
what are we going to use it for?
You were talking about something else. Yeah, everything can be a double-edged sword. You know, Sting saying, "Never saw any miracle of science that didn't go from a blessing to a curse." That's up to us, just like your song.
Yeah,
everything is
exactly.
up to us.
Exactly.
And we are using technology right now. Exactly right. It's a miracle in ways, but we don't want it to stand in the way of who and what we really are. And Michelle, you are very much aligned that way. Adrian, I know you are. I don't think the listeners probably been brought up to speed the way Adrian models what he does. So I grew up in an industry that had a lot of trade shows and did a lot of production and then event planning later in life. And it pretty much follows the same thing. You put your ducks in a row, like, I'm going to do an event and I have to go pick a venue. I've got to commit to that venue for money. Here's what I'm going to do, whether it's music or art or something, and we're going to have food, line up those people and guarantee them how they're all going to get paid. And then think, okay, through ticket sales or vendors or whatever that model is, it's the same model. That's the only model I've ever seen until your model, Adrian, where you said, we are going to do this incredible thing, large scale. We're going to book a giant venue, a park in LA. We're going to have to get all the permits. We're going to have to get all the people, the volunteers. We're going to have to get the entertainment booked, the stages, the lighting, the generators, it's a list, I'm sure, a mile long. And in the end of it, you said, I'm not sure how we're going to pay for this other than I trust the goodness of humanity, because that's what our message is, that we're not quote unquote selling at DisclosureFest, delivering to people.
Yeah.
And that vibration is going to open them up to want to support this cause, want to pay it forward, want to buy tickets for people they don't know. And it's just, I was just blown away that day that I went there. And I'm like, who would do something like this on the scale that it's being done? So I just,
so professional.
yeah, I want the listener
Bravo.
to know what it is you really do. Because DisclosureFest could be just one of many really great yoga, great, organic food, vegan food, great entertainment, high vibration. But in the background, it's following the same model of how you're going to make the money and pay everybody. Yours is not that model. And it's so grounded in trust and belief in the goodness of others that it's going to work, that the universe is going to conspire to make it so. And I don't know how it always works, if it does always work for you, but I know you're still here planning other ones. So I got to think, well, it's working good enough.
Yeah, no, Spirit was really very clear at the beginning, to let the community decide how they show up. Like this is a healing experience for them. Money has its own energy. So when you slap a ticket price, and it's sometimes in these type of festivals, because it's a 20,000+ person festival, so it's like lightning in a bottle size, and that's a $500 ticket. And when you slap a ticket, then they have to really grind to figure out how they get in there, how to make that money to get that ticket. And now that energy of that grind, however it was, is in that money. So Spirit was just like, just surrender and trust that the community will show up, will be there. And trust me, it was very difficult, because it's not an easy event to pull off, as you can only imagine. And it was a great story. My mom in 2019, she stayed at the gate, and this is like the third one. And, we keep doing pretty well. People are donating. It's very, the donation line is not as long as the free line, but it's balancing itself out here. My mom told me, and I cried. I literally cried, because it was this validation from Spirit. My mom's like, over 400 people came back to the gate and said, I can't be in here for free, and donated.
Yep.
And that was my validation to like, wow. I mean, I've had partners that just, are not, couldn't stick onto this model, but I get it. It's very hard in this construct that we've created, this reality, this matrix we've all created to be living in this timeline that we have it. We have to, make this money to pay the bills and survive. It's very much the construct we've created. And now this is something that, is working. And, it's hard to get. I always try to encourage other promoters, hopefully it catches on. But for us, it's such a healing thing, because, seeing all these people and how it's affected them, by coming in for an event like this for free, and then showing back up to the gate and going, I can't be here for free. Like that's a shift
It's
in
a
itself.
paradigm shift is what I really feel. And now you have a whole crystal infused clothing line that people, if they buy some of your crystal infused clothing, they're actually donating to buying a blanket for somebody on Skid Row. It's an incredible model that I'd like to see more people embrace. Yeah. And I think by doing all of this, we are co-creating it. That's why it was so important to me that it was the four of us. It's, the three that I see it as a grand trine: Awakening Code Radio, Freedom Tribe, DisclosureFest, Adrian, right here. This is us putting out something to our listeners, anybody who's coming by this podcast, inviting you to consider how we all get aligned with that divine currency that's our birthright, the infinite supply of abundance that's here. That's the way it was modeled, that we, by being an earthling, being on earth, everything on earth is here for us. And then all of a sudden this money thing came in, and greed and power, and, we're seeing what's happening with ego and, anger, blame, shame, any of those judgment, any of those lower vibration emotions or actions that we're seeing modeled before our very eyes, that we can hold each other to a higher standard, not through anger, but by modeling this behavior and inviting others to come play with us in this field. This is a beautiful field. We're playing together right now. And with that, I do have someone's asking another question. Melitza from Maryland is asking Michelle, here's my question. What will be the role of music in a 5D reality? What do you think? Freedom, do you have an answer for that?
Nope.
Adrian, what do you think will be the role of music in a 5D reality?
Wow, you know how like when people have been like sharing the soundscapes of space, you know, and it sounds like whales and sound like just high vibrational sound healing, you know, I feel like obviously music is such a healing tool, and yeah, like it's so yeah, I mean, it's hard to like, you know, say, I mean, I think I know, you know, because that's when I'm peeking over into this other dimension that keeps peeking back in, you know, like, but it's not fully downloaded yet. But yeah, it feels like some, you know, like those sounds of whales and dolphins that, you know, if you listen to the sound of space.
I love that. And Freedom, what you're doing on Sundays, Spirit Revival Sundays.
Yes, Sunday Spirit Revival.
That is, to me, that is the role of music in a 5D reality, because what you're doing is you are getting to people who are, I think almost everybody on earth can agree that there is some level of anxiety that's pulsing in our subconscious. I was just telling Eric today that, and Adrian, I was telling you this today as well, that I've noticed I wake up with my jaw sore because I think I'm grinding my teeth at night. That's my subconscious feeling. In the background, there's some level of anxiety, you know, that's pulsing because of the uncertainty of what's happening around me, where I'm crying when I'm witnessing certain things going on around me, the polarization and the, you know, you guys both are feeling it too, you know, the anger in the communities, with everybody having a need to their point of view being the right point of view. And I really feel how important it is for us to be social. I don't believe in a term called social distancing. And I've been pretty vocal about that as well, that, you know, if you want a physical distance so that you aren't breathing in somebody else's air, I totally get that. But we are social creatures. And by being together in this way, even if I'm dancing by myself to Freedom's music on a Sunday, to me, that's that's my 5D reality. So how about if we hear another song before Adrian does a meditation, the mass meditation? We actually can go a little bit over because the next show isn't going to play for another hour. So we have a little bit of leeway in our hour and plus a little bit, if you're okay with that. Freedom, I would love to hear you play another song.
Okay.
And then we can go into Adrian, you leading us on a journey and a mass meditation taste.
What is the song? Well,
I'm going to let you feel into it because I want it to be the song that your soul wants to sing.
there's a light in the cavern. There's a soul in my bones. There's a love on the way home. Medicine going through your stones. There's a love that will find in me, no matter how far I roam. there's light in your eye, my friend. No, I am home, and nothing can take that away. So come in, Raphael. Come in, Michael. Come in, Gabriel. Come in, Uriel. Malachelion, Malachelion, oh Malachelion, Malachelion. Oh Christ. Na 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 na, oh Mary, Shatam, Lady, Shatam, Shatam, Lady, Shatam, Shatam, Lady, Shatam, Shatam, Shatam. There's light in the darkness. We all looking to see. There's love on the way home. It's for you. It's for me. There's a dream I still have of our world in unity. I pray we can wake up and live this mighty, mighty, mighty destiny. All you're all in sacred way. So come in, Raphael. Come in, Michael. Come in, Gabriel. Come in, Uriel. Come in, Raphael. Come in, Michael. Come in, Gabriel. Come in, Uriel. Oh, hallelujah. Hallelujah. Yeah. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Malachelion, 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 Malachelion. You know nothing can take us away.
Wow. I
I'm
mean, that was
so
something
moved.
to watch. I hope our listeners actually get the opportunity. Maybe Colleen can just grab this song. Absolutely beautiful. Your voice is amazing.
Thank you.
What has come through for me after watching both Adrian and Freedom is there feels to me, this is my own personal take on it, in both of your processes, it feels like just tons of trust. Adrian, we talked about how you do what you do with DisclosureFest, and you're just trusting that it's going to work. People are going to pay. All of it's going to work out. And as a musician, Freedom, it feels like you said, I don't sit down and I'm going to write a song now and look at a blank piece of paper and I'm going to say something clever and I'm going to come up with some awesome chord arrangements and neat little riff here. It just feels like I'm going to trust, if I don't block Spirit's way, the way Spirit works.
Yes.
It's just going to move through and be exactly what it's supposed to be. And that feels so different, both of you, how you do approach these amazing things that you're doing. It feels completely different. And I hope that our listeners are able to sort of, the big takeaway, at least my takeaway from the show, will be that you can remove yourself and trust the process that you're in, and that you know that what put everything in motion was your good intent, your heart, your desire for a good outcome. I can't imagine most people on the planet like wanting to think, I'm going to go do something evil today, and I'm whatever. That in this goodness, I'm going to trust the process. I'm going to be the vehicle and the vessel for it. And you both have just modeled that so beautifully, and that's really all I have to say about that.
Wow, thank you. I'm honored. Thank you for saying that. I'm trying. I think Adrian would agree. It is the trust. If we just get out of the way, it's clean already.
Yeah.
We all have the shadow work. We're all doing the shadow work, and we're all these amazing, beautiful lotuses just coming out of the mud. One of my employees mentioned that in a reference, and it's stuck. Because we all go through the mud, and I just really want to start seeing the planet emerging in these beautiful lotuses just coming out of the mud.
Pretty please.
Gorgeous flowers.
It does feel like 2020 gave us clearer vision if we were willing to get out of our own way and think for ourselves, not buy into anybody's program, actually feel into what feels right for each one of us. And 2021 seems to be the year to apply it, to apply what we've learned as we witness each other, ourselves, and we celebrate. We celebrate each other. We celebrate what we still have. We celebrate this process that Eric just talked about, the process of living in the trust frequency. We've had a guest on that wrote a book called The Trust Frequency, and that's really where we're at. I feel that we're modeling that more and more, each one of us. I'm getting texts from some of our listeners, and Melitza, who asked that question about 5D, writes in and says, I think we will have a much fuller understanding of music in a multidimensional way, and we will create music with a new intentionality. Use it as a tool of creation and healing. Bam.
Jeez.
Bam.
Let that be so. Yeah, let's make it the way, like you were saying, let's make it that way.
Yeah.
Let's make it how we want it to be.
We're doing that right now.
Truly.
As much as each one of us, and I will tell you, except for Eric, maybe Eric, I don't know, each one of us had resistance today about this show. I'll be completely honest with my own freedom. I don't even think I told you this before we got on air, but I was having nightmares about this show because I wanted it to be what it is. This show has been is exactly what I wanted it to be. But I was having nightmares because I was worried. I think my subconscious knew at some level that you didn't really like to do the whole talking thing, that you're more about just playing your music. And I thought I was only going to have exactly 60 minutes to do everything that we've done, plus the meditation. And I felt like that was going to feel rushed because I wanted at least 2 of your songs. I was hoping for 3, and some dialogue and highlighting how,
I'd say 3.
all of this is. I know. How about, do you want to go into the meditation, Adrian, and then have Freedom close us out with one more song after we meditate together? I mean, this is the perfect segue into we are co-creating right now all of us here and all of our listeners who are stepping into this field, this portal of potentiality. It's a portal of peace. I don't know whose computer that was, Adrian.
Maybe it was ours.
Was it?
Oh, it looks
Well,
like
I wanted to ask too, like, because I didn't get to talk to you about it before when I was talking to you about my reluctance to speak earlier, right before the show. But I was wondering, how do people find the podcast and all, listen to this again and all the things that you guys are doing so that I can tell more people. I'd like to know.
Right. Yeah, I know. We get lost in it too because we're not natural marketers either.
No, I'm the worst.
KXFMradio.org is where we're at live right now. And what we'll be doing is putting this audio portion to podcast on every podcast platform. We're on anyone you can imagine. iTunes, we're on Podcast Addict, we're on, what else, Eric? Spreaker.
Is it under Awakening Code Radio or is it
Awakening Code Radio?
Yeah. So you can just Google search Awakening Code Radio and you're going to be directed. If somebody knows, if you just told somebody, I was just on Awakening Code Radio, and within 2 days from now that our podcast is up, the audio podcast, if they just Google search Awakening Code Radio Freedom Tribe, they're going to find that show.
Oh, excellent. Great. Because I just want to tell more people about what you're doing.
If you tell them that much, Awakening Code Radio Freedom Tribe or Freedom, they will actually just find it. That's the way I look at shows. When I want to go find something, I will just remember who the guest was. I don't go into the podcast library. I don't go to iTunes. I go to Google and I will type Awakening Code Radio, Nassim Haramein or Deepak Chopra, and boom, just
excellent.
James Redfield, Greg Braden.
Yeah, we've had a lot of great guests.
And I'm, because we are recording this on Zoom, I will get the Zoom to both of you so that you can take whatever pieces of it you want and use it for however you wish to use it. I believe, when I say conscious collaboration without competition, the other thing that came to me was without copyright too. Back when I got this message in my head about this phrase, conscious collaboration without competition or copyright, because I believe in all of us having that freedom to share, to just share each other's, what we're all doing and what we're all working on, rather than hoarding the energy. I'd like to see all of us share the energy. And that's where the real magic sits for me, is watching all of us come into this space of Larissa Stowe was talking about the we-evolution. And,
I love that.
Seeing that, our I am is important, but when we step into the field of we and how we're co-creating with all of our energies coming together, pretty powerful stuff.
Indeed.
Yep.
So how are we going to do this meditation, Adrian? You're going to lead us on a journey.
I'm going to do a quick journey. Yeah, we're not going to do it long. I think something cool.
Well, I am on the other coast as you all, so it's pretty late here. So maybe what I can do, I'll jump off right now, and then you guys can go as long as you want to. And I just wanted to thank you so much. Thank you, all of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure. A lot more enjoyable than I was making it to be in my head.
I know. I could feel your resistance when I talked to you earlier, and I felt that what I said to you when we were talking before the show is it's just like being on the phone call with an old friend. That's really what we are. Our souls know each other, and we're soul friends. And that's all this was a phone call with some soul friends, and we're going to share it with more soul friends. And we invite everybody to join in this meditation and freedom if you want to go. But
I need to stay and hear what Adrian's going to create.
You're so sweet.
Absolutely.
So maybe, I don't know what you're picturing, Adrian, but is it possible to do like 10 minutes? Is that?
Yeah,
Do whatever you're feeling, man.
it's
Don't
gotta
don't
be,
change it for me.
yeah, it's 10, it's short.
Okay.
Yeah. I just downloaded a quick one. This is
Perfect. We're going to turn our mics off and just let you go.
Yeah. Well, before we do, Freedom, that was amazing hearing these songs. And I really, really interested in inviting you again to Disclosure Fest. Whenever
Absolutely.
we get to do it again, it's just I could just see this on stage with you and get you to share all your medicine with everyone again.
Oh, it would be my pleasure. It would be my pleasure. For sure.
Amazing. Thank you. Well, right on. All right, I'm going to just drop into a little meditation with y'all. It's going to be a visual journey. So if everybody would just close your eyes and feel into your breath. Hear your breath inside your head, inside your body, inside your lungs. Deep breathe. And as you're dropping and feeling into your breath, I want you to hear another breath in the room. And this breath is of our great mother, our great mother Gaia. And as you hear her breath and you hear your own breath, let's synchronize both our breaths together as we ground in to this divine breath of our great mother. Now that our breaths are synced up together with our great mother Gaia, shift your attention to your heartbeat. Hearing your heartbeat, and now hearing the heartbeat of our great mother. As we sink in to our heartbeat of our great mother. Grounding into her heart frequency and her breath. As now we shift and feel into our vibration. Feeling this vibration, the highest we've ever felt it in this timeline. Sometimes confused on what we're feeling. Really trying to understand this new vibration. As again, we feel into the vibration of our great mother and synchronize with her. Synchronizing our divine vibration, the highest we've felt it in this timeline. This moment we've been waiting for so long. Syncing with her breath, her heart, and her vibration. As we shift our energy to the sun, the grand central sun in the universe, the sun that powers all suns, the divine source information flow, syncing our breath and our heart and our vibration with the sun. Feel into that for a moment. Aligning and synchronizing with the sun and the earth, allowing this channel of golden columnist light passing through your body and your heart, your field, touching the core of the sun and touching the core of the earth, receiving the transmissions, the information, the vibration. As we open now our mind's eye, as we sit and stand in front of a grand lake. And in the distance, we see every mountain on our great planet, our great Mother Gaia. And above every single one of these mountains are these beautiful rain clouds, abundant with water. As we see these rain clouds dumping so much beautiful water onto these mountains, every mountain on the planet, seeing these rivers start accumulating and feeding this lake. As that's happening in all the sacred waters of every mountain on this planet is entering this one lake. Let's leave this for a moment and spread our arms out and start feeling the wind passing through our bodies, our light bodies, our aura. As we breathe this wind into our bodies and exhaling, pushing any energies, emotions out with every breath, allowing our bodies to cleanse and heal with the element of the wind. As we take a few breaths, continuing this clearing with the wind. Thank you, wind elements, air elements. Be so grateful and humble, filled with humility as we clear and release so much that we may be holding on to that's not serving our highest purpose. Taking a deep, deep breath and exhaling and just getting the last of that. As we open our mind's eye once again and see now this lake in front of us, filled all the way with the waters of every mountain on our great Mother Gaia, all the sacred waters of our planet in one place. And we see this crystal bowl on the ground. Let's pick it up and fill this bowl with the water from this lake. This quartz bowl that's lifted over our head and starts pouring this water, slowly cascading down our body, As we breathe in and let this water enter our crown chakra as it comes into our body, our field, cleansing. As we see this water going all the way through and exiting and leaving our feet as we exhale. And with this exhale, we're seeing so much and pushing so much stagnant emotional energy, any angers, doubts, fears, jealousy, sadness, anything that you are ready to let go of, letting the sacred waters of the planet cleanse and clear as you feel the cool, fresh waters, sacred waters of the planet clearing and healing. Let's put that quartz bowl down on the ground. Open our arms up again, looking and calling to the sun. Let's breathe some deep breaths, bringing golden column of light from the sun all the way down, filling our hearts. And breathing and calling into the core of our Great Mother, her heart, as we breathe in, filling our heart with her core heart energy. As we see our hearts filled with so much sun and Great Mother heart, golden energy, our hearts permeating out of our chest, so bright with every breath, so much brighter and brighter. As we exhale that energy and send that great love to the planet, to every child, every woman, every man, every animal, every plant and tree species, asking for forgiveness, filled with humility, send that love and surround this whole planet and this universe. As we breathe now back, coming back, feeling into our bodies again. Remembering the unity of all that is. You can start opening your eyes and coming back.
Wow. Are your cheeks wet like mine?
Well, that was beautiful for sure.
Oh, Adrian.
That was a journey.
You do it to me every time. Like, I think if we could all meditate together like that, this we do have the ability to change, course correct, and come back into our hearts and just realize that I am another you, and you both have done that for us tonight. I think our listeners will feel the same way. And the show was exactly what I wanted it to be and infinitely more.
Yeah, it was so fun. Such a blessing and gift to be in this room of amazing, beautiful souls.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
That means you, Ray, behind there too.
He's laughing. I love that. Ray Indigo, ray of sunshine. I think Father, Son, and Mother Earth made love inside of my body, inside of my heart. I was exploding. I was just really feeling it. So, whew, thank you so much. Freedom, do you want to play another song? We still have a little bit of time if you want to sing us out. If you want to, if not,
If you have the energy, I know it's late. It's like midnight over there. 12:30.
12:30.
12:30. It's up to you. We could play a recorded version out, or you could welcome to play something.
Yeah, Ray's like, play something good.
Yeah, would you please?
Yeah, would you please just play something good? Thank you, Adrian. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Freedom.
Man King wrote a song for you long ago. Built that palace that you're in. And I'm calling all the people to gather round the Queen. Do you remember when? Oh, the angel and the guardian shared with you this garden there. Oh, my friend. Do you remember when the world was young? What would you give to stand there in the sun? Come on and resurrect Eden lost with every song that you sung, 'cause that is what I have done. Hey, it's the palace that I'm in. I keep calling all the people to gather round. Yes, I remember when all the angels and the guardians, they shared with me this garden right there. Oh, my friend. Oh, my friend, my friend. Give you my papa's bread, I'm a rich man. Just as the cornerstone slipping sand. Can call it cruel, can call me a fool. I know you're weary, children of the sand. I need no white robe to be in the light, man. True gold is in my soul, man. Cast your shame and point your blame, but just believe me when you suddenly understand. Love will always conquer death. What would you give? My heart and soul. What would you give to resurrect Eden, Eden, Eden? All of my heart and soul. Tell me now, do you remember would you give to stand there in the sun? Come along, yeah, resurrected and lost, with every song that you sung. Oh, what have we done? Yes, man, King wrote a song for you long ago, and all that glitters is not gold. Tell me, what would you be left to hold if you're alone? Yes, I remember when the angels and the guardians, they shared with me this garden there. Oh, my friend,
Ooh,
I want to clap so loud right now, but it would be
Amazing.
eardrums. Oh my
yeah,
gosh.
really, really beautiful. Such a space to drop into with the two of you and you, Michelle. I come into a lot of these shows now, not really putting a whole lot of thought into what my contribution is going to be. I just show up. Michelle is so always networking and knows so many amazing people, and I just trust completely that we're going to have an amazing show. And sometimes there's just a different aspect, and tonight was just a beautiful place to drop into energetically.
Mhm.
Both of your hearts, both of your gifts, both of your visions of and how you're doing it in such unique ways. And I just want to say thank you, in all sincerity.
Yes.
wow, thank you.
Let's remind people how they can support freedom. I think it's really important that people out there, how do we let people know how they could come?
Well, yes, I disappeared purposefully and unpurposefully for many moons. But yes, all of the music, Freedom Tribe music is on freedomtribenation.com, freedomtribenation.com. And there's all kinds of, I put all the poetry up for, there's all, I think there's, what is there, 8 albums maybe?
Oh, wow.
There?
8
And
albums.
since I never sing a song the same way, I actually went through all of those recordings and wrote down the lyrics to how I sung it that time. So all the lyrics to every one of the albums are available up there too. And then, but most importantly, really, is the Sunday Spirit Revivals. And you can go to freedomtribenation.com and register there. It's super easy. And we do it over Zoom, like people are just listening to us now, but we can see each other in the Zoom. That's nice.
Cool.
So people can, I can't see them, but they can see me. So it's like as close as we can get to sitting together. And yeah, it's an hour free. It's a free for now, we could keep doing it for free for now. Hour of just medicine music, whatever is coming through right then. And it's been amazing. The support, the love, and just good Lord, we're starving,
Yeah.
Almost cussed again there and caught myself, but stuff is very weird if you walk outside, or turn on the TV or this or that, or listen to people attack each other on social media for no reason at all, like little. And so we're just trying to bring some goodness, to the world.
It's the medicine the world needs right now. And I really appreciate that you're making each one of the Spirit Revival Sunday segments available on your website. So if anybody wants to purchase.
Oh yeah, that's thank you for saying that. That's exactly it. So it's free if you watch it live, but then you can purchase it on the website after if you miss it or this or that, and you download it and then you can have it. Some of them have been super special, and yeah, people seem to be really happy with it. So I'm gonna
People
keep
write
doing
in and chat in, and I've noticed that you don't always sing. My personal favorite song of yours is The Sun. Of course, we've talked about that. You don't always sing it live. And I noticed a few Sunday nights ago, I don't know if it was 2 Sunday nights ago or 3, you actually sang that song acoustically. So I think somebody must have requested it and you actually sang it. So
No, that one's it's just, yeah, that one's that was very special to me. So it comes, I have respect for it. Let's put it that way. So if I can give it everything, then I do. Otherwise, I let it just be beautiful without singing it, or however you say that. So yeah, yes, I did sing The Sun. It just came in.
yeah.
So you never know. It's not going to be the same show.
I
always
haven't heard Desert Lover yet.
Oh,
Desert Lover, yes.
so beautiful. But Freedom, I have to tell you that one of the things that I do with that song is when I'm meeting people, and a lot of times if we're at a festival or a concert or a contact in the desert or a conference, if the sun's setting and I've just met some new people, I will turn that song on my phone or my iPad and play it holding hands or holding space with this new friend, soul friend, watching the sunset. And now what I do with those friends is if I see a beautiful sunset, we text each other, I love you like the sun. So I'm going to give a shout out to Mark Howard, who will probably catch the podcast. Mark Howard is the guy who will text all the time. He's a good friend of mine. I met at Contact in the Desert. I turned him on to Freedom Tribe music. We turned on Erica Middlemiss, who's Dr. Middlemiss. She's been on this show as well. And we text each other in a group stream. Suzanne is in that stream. I love you like the sun. So you're constantly pulsing in our community through that particular.
Excellent. Thank you for that. Thank you.
Yeah.
And listeners, please support Freedom Tribe. This is a very special, person and group, and like this is, it's really important, and it's such a blessing to have that you sharing your medicine every Sunday, and I just can't wait to have you at DisclosureFest. So again, everyone, please do what you can. If you can, support, get some of these amazing collections he's doing every Sunday into your own little library of Freedom bootlegs. Oh my God, Freedom bootlegs. Let's do this.
Yeah.
And people can support Disclosure Fest as well. If you want to go on to disclosurefest.org, there's another avenue to support what Disclosure Fest is doing as well. So this has been a love fest.
Mm-hmm.
We thank you. We love you so much. I think we're going to go out and play The Sun since we've talked about it
so much. I think.
Do it. I haven't heard it in a while.
Hear it?
Desert Lover on Sunday.
We're going to play the recorded version of it so that people can really get the feel for The Sun.
So
and just know.
It's disclosurefest.org, right?
Yeah.
And then Awakening Code Radio. Just Google that, right?
Yeah. All podcast platforms.
And then what's the call numbers on the radio station again?
KXFMradio.org.
Okay. And freedomtribenation.com. So that's everything that everybody needs to know right there.
Yes. And if you want people to it,
drink water, be nice, that stuff too.
Be good humans.
Be good humans. That's what we close every show with.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much, the two of you. You've been amazing guests. We look forward to seeing you both wherever we see you next. And really, really grateful. I know it's late for you, Freedom. Just appreciate you staying with us so long. Adrian, thanks for all you do. We'll see both of you.
Ray. Thank you,
guys. Lots of love. Total love.
Thank you.
Love you like the sun.
Love you like the sun.
Like the sun.